Now let's learn about some of our leading Republican candidates, starting with Ron Paul, Giuliani, Huckabee, McCain, and Romney.
In the eyes of the many people who drive along Los Angeles' busiest freeways, the name of Ron Paul is often synonymous with YouTube and Google. But for those who have been supporting him since the beginning of his campaign, he is a symbol of true change and hope for America. As a defender of freedom and the ultimate devotee of the Constitution, Ron Paul has established himself as one of the most principled and consistent voters in Congress. But it is his experience and love of country that characterizes him as a truly remarkable presidential candidate. Ron Paul comes from very humble beginnings. After growing up on a farm in Pennsylvania, he became a professional baseball player for the Astros. Later, he attended medical school at Duke University and joined the Air Force as a flight surgeon. He was then discharged from the Air Force as an Army captain and opened his own OBGYN practice. Inspired by the monetary crisis he thought would arise when the U.S. moved off the gold standard in the 70s, Ron decided to run for Congress and won a seat in the House in 1976. Ever since then, he has been consistently voting for numerous changes which he believes should be made in order to improve our country. For example, limiting government interference in our private lives, lowering spending and forcing a balanced budget, stopping monetary inflation and debasing currency, bringing a halt to nation building and policing of the world, and supporting the freedom and rights of individuals. As the genuine Republican candidate in favor of states' rights and a non-interventionist foreign policy, I encourage all of you to read more and learn about this truly forward-thinking man named Dr. Ron Paul. Republican presidential candidate Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, is falling behind in the polls as he failed to capture the Iowa caucus and New Hampshire primary, but he still remains optimistic. After placing 6th in the Iowa caucus, he was not a popular choice in New Hampshire either. His strategy is to survive until January 29, 2008, to win the Florida primary, where he has been polling well, and then do well on Super Tuesday, February 5th, when many other states have their primaries, including California and Giuliani's home state of New York, along with other delegate-rich states where his polling numbers indicate he has a chance. Many people have questioned Mr. Giuliani's strategy of waiting for later voting states, as this strategy has not been effective in past campaigns. The risk in his strategy is that a rival candidate will grab favorable news coverage and support by winning the smaller states in the beginning. Giuliani claims that every strategy has strengths and weaknesses, and that people will have to wait and see if his strategy was successful at the end of the election. Mr. Giuliani is a lawyer, businessman, and politician. His political positions include a commitment to low taxes, drastic change in the school system, improvement in healthcare, and an end to illegal immigration. He believes that homeland security should be tightened, and that the United States should become energy independent. Furthermore, he states that no timetable can be set for the withdrawal from Iraq, and that reconstructing Iraq will reduce terrorist threats.
Mike Huckabee, the former Republican governor of Arkansas who finished in the first place in the Iowa caucus and in third in the New Hampshire primary, has one strong overall dream of figuring out a way to make the American dream possible again. He says that exploring into our problems such as failing healthcare, our environmental policies, and our education system. Huckabee wishes to resolve these issues and talks about them in his book, From Hope to Higher Ground, 12 Stops to Returning America's Greatness, and how this might just be possible with a decisive leader. Obviously, he thinks he is just this, a godsend that could save the Americans from being flushed into a political sewer. Mike Huckabee has shown that he will act on his convictions and carry out his campaign promises. In his state of Arkansas, citizens were given a $90 million tax relief, as well as his Healthy Arkansas initiative to encourage Arkansans to have a more healthy lifestyle. Huckabee himself lost 110 pounds after his doctor told him that he was putting his life at risk. Huckabee also supports repealing the income tax and replacing it with a national 23% sales tax, a libertarian idea which has recently been adopted by several candidates in the Republican field. And if you don't like his politics, you can go see Huckabee's rock band, Capitol Fence, opening for his campaign. Huckabee is an accomplished player of the electric bass.
Arizona Senator John McCain has thrown the race for the Republican nomination up for grabs again with his first-place finish in the New Hampshire primary on January 8, 2008. After political pundits declared his campaign over last summer, due to a lack of funds, McCain has recently made a comeback with his win in New Hampshire, along with a third-place finish in Iowa, and impressive support amongst moderate Republicans and independents. As a former POW, McCain believes strongly the war effort in Iraq should only be intensified and favors sending more troops, supplies, and government funding. On this note, he has also been notorious as a congressman for advocating increased benefits for veterans. However, he also seeks to balance federal spending through immense tax reform, through lowering taxes for middle-class families, and a campaign to eliminate pork bill spending. In terms of social issues, McCain holds conservative Christian values himself. He is anti-gay marriage and pro-life, and against stem cell research using embryos, but believes in delegating decisions regarding these and other such issues to the states, and in the case of stem cell research, actively allocating funds to promote types of stem cell research that do not require embryos. McCain next takes on Michigan, the birth home of his rival former governor of Massachusetts, Mitt Romney, on January 15th, powered by this newfound momentum. As Senator Bill Nielsen, a Democrat of Florida, said, the only one of the Republican candidates that can really win in November, who has a chance to win in November, is John McCain.
Mitt Romney is the former governor of Massachusetts and is running for president as a Republican. Although many political analysts predicted that he would drop out of the race after 2 second-place finishes in the New Hampshire primary and Iowa caucus, where he sank millions of dollars of his personal fortune into the campaign, Romney is still a viable candidate for the Republican nomination. Romney believes in capital punishment for terrorism and for the assassination of peace officers. As governor of Massachusetts, he was in favor of universal health insurance with some governmental assistance for those who were uninsured by their employers. Finally, Romney is in favor of the troop surge in Iraq and feels that a strong military presence is required in order to provide a stable democracy. As of now, if Mitt Romney can get a win in the upcoming primary in Michigan, the state where he was born and raised, he remains a strong candidate for the Republican nomination of president.
Let's go to Ariel to see how the Republican race is coming. John McCain is currently leading in national polls. He won in New Hampshire with 37.1% of the vote, due largely to support from independent voters. Huckabee won in Iowa with 34.4% of the vote, with large support from evangelical Christians. We now look to Michigan, where Romney and McCain are leading in polls. Stay tuned for our next installment of Teen Vote 08. And remember to...
Yeah, vote!